when a viewer wrote asking for help in building a redwood fence, well, I paid her a house call.
Well, volunteerism is very important to our preschool. On any given day, there's at least 8 parents helping out the teachers with the program.
No kidding. Now, this is Susan, by the way, and we're at the Valley Parent Preschool, and this is the new school in the background right here. This is actually a house that you're converting into a preschool, right?
Right, and we've had an outpouring from the community and donated labor and materials to make it happen.
Wow. Now, you sent me a list that was about this long of projects.
Yes.
But we've selected a fence that's being built in the front of the school, right?
Right.
Okay, let's go take a look.
Okay.
A few days ago, one of the people who was working on this project put in these first 3 fence posts. What we're going to do right now is extend this all the way out to the street. This is going to sort of be our benchmark right here. We want the top of the fence to be this height, and everything else will begin here and align with this fence post. So let's start by taking a piece of string right here and tying it on the front face of this post, just like so. Well, we're out here by the street now. This is the other end of that string that we tied onto the post. You see, it's just touching the face of those 3 posts down there. Susan, go to your right just a little bit. Just touch the face of them. And back to your left. Okay, that's great. All right, now what we're going to do is take this stake. This, by the way, is a piece of pipe. So I'm going to drive this in. A piece of pipe with a cap on the end. Let's slip this over first. All right, and then we'll put our stake right up next to this string, just so that the face of it, just the face right here, is just touching the string. And then by raising this pipe and letting it drop, I can hammer this in. Now that we've established the line of our fence, we want to determine where each fence post is going to go. This is called a line level. I've hooked this onto the line here so that I know that this, in fact, is flat or level. And we've also decided we want to space the fence post at 6 feet. So we're coming out here exactly 6 feet. This is my tape measure. Let me get my felt marker out now. I'm just going to mark this string right here with the felt marker. All right, and Susan, if I can hand the tape measure back to you. Now, I've got a piece of string in my pocket here. I'm going to tie this to that mark I just made. Now, at the end of this piece of string, I've tied a nail. This is going to act as a weight. This kind of creates a temporary plumb bob right here. And this shows me the exact, pretty much, center of the post hole. Let's take a stake right here and drive this in. All right, now there's that stake that we just put down, and I've sort of started our hole here just to define that. We can take the stake out now. Now, this is Ed. Actually, his wife is a teacher here at the school. So, Ed, you're on the volunteer crew today. Why don't you go ahead? This is a post hole digger, by the way. And the way you use this thing, you've probably used it many times yourself. You just drive it in, squeeze the handles together, and it takes out a small portion of dirt. Allows us to make a relatively small hole, there you go, without having the sides sloped in. Pretty hard to do that with a shovel. Okay, let's mix up some concrete now for those post holes. This is a single batch concrete mixer. Mixes 1 40 or 60-pound bag at a time. And you start by filling this lid with water. This is Candace, by the way. Candace, just fill that up. This is actually a measuring lid. Each time you fill it up, it's 1.5 quarts of water. You need 2 of those for a 60-pound bag, which is what we have here. This is our second one. I've already put 1 in here. Okay, that's great. Okay, so remember, water goes in first. And this is Ian. Ian's mother is the director here. Okay, Ian, if you just pour the concrete in there. Oops, let me get this seal. This is actually the seal that goes in the lid right here. Okay, you pour the concrete in. I'll put the O-ring back in place. There we go. Water first. Then the pre-mixed concrete. And we're going to put the lid on. Okay, tighten this up. Now, what you have to do, Ian, if you'll help me with this, you have to roll this back and forth. Let me turn this around this way. You have to roll this back and forth for about 30 seconds, and you have to make sure that you do 1 complete revolution with each roll. Okay, that's looking good, Ed. Let me just take a measurement here and see what we got. All right, we want about 24 inches, and we just about there. In fact, a little over. Okay, 2 foot deep, about 10, 12 inches in diameter, just about right for a post. Now, this is crushed rock. I'm going to put about 6 inches of this in the bottom of the hole for drainage. All right, we're going to go ahead and set our first post now. This is an 8-foot post, got a 2-foot hole. Remember, we want a 6-foot high fence. That gives us 6 feet outside. Kind of position this so it's just about level with that string. Okay, Ian, go ahead and dump that in. Probably going to take about 2 of these, I would think, to fill up this hole. Now we've got 2 bubbles on this post level. We've got one right here and one over here. This one will tell us if we're vertical or plumb in this direction, and then this one over here will tell us if we're vertical or plumb in this direction. Those both look pretty good, okay? And you notice we're also lined up so the face of this is right, just touching the string right here. So we're in good position. Now we want to finish off the top of this concrete so that it slopes away from the pole. That's so that any water that runs down the pole will hit the concrete and flow away from it and not puddle here at the base, causing possible rot. We've let the concrete dry overnight on this post. It's nice and solid. Now we're going to be putting in next this top piece here called a rail or stringer. This is Kevin over on this end. Kevin, if you'd hold that in there, Ed is back. We're going to put this right in the center of the post, all right? Now we're going to line it up with the string that we stretched earlier, but let's just double check this with a level. Make sure that the stringer or rail is good shape. Right on the money, guys. Okay. Now, I'm going to attach this to the post with these rust-proof deck screws. Now these are made by Fast Tap, and they have a self-drilling point right here. It allows me to do this without splitting the wood. I'm going to use them just like a nail, coming in here as we would a toenail. I'm right down here at an angle, through the 2x4, and then into that post. Now we've put a second rail up right down here, attached that the same way as we did the top, and we're just beginning to put our fence slats up. Now this is rough sawn redwood 1x6s. We're going to be attaching this with these 6-penny galvanized box nails, which are going to go probably 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom. Now, the architect's plans call for 2 boards with a 4-inch space in between, which eventually will get covered by another board on the back side. So we've made up some spacers here that are 4 inches wide. Okay, Bob, go ahead and put that in. We've got one down here in the bottom rail as well. That'll give us that uniform distance without having to measure and mark each time. All right, now we'll go ahead and nail this off. To add some detail to the fence, we're going to put this piece of 1x6 up here. This could be called a fascia board. Okay, Rob, we're going to clamp this in place just to make it a little easier to make sure that everything stays put while we nail it. Okay, got mine. When you're flush with the top there, give me a nod. Okay, and then we'll nail this off using those 6-penny galvanized box nails. We've put a second fascia board down here in the bottom, and our final piece of trim for the fence, or detail, is this cap. This is a 2x6, which is going to sit right up here on top of the fascia board. We're going to center this so it overhangs the same front and back, and then we'll nail this in place with some 16-penny hot dip galvanized nails. Well, we've had a little change of plan here. The original plan was to carry the fence along this pink string right here. The problem is it's going to look like it's sort of disappearing into the ground because this slopes up so much. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to raise each section about 6 inches. So it'll come along here, then step up about 4 times until we reach this post, and it's going to drop down low again so we've got clearance and we can see up the road. At this point, several of the staff, parents, and their children pitched in, and within just a few hours, a good deal of the fence was put up. Listen, Susan, thanks for having us over. This was a great project, and it was so much fun working with everybody. I like the idea that everybody's sort of volunteering in several ways to make this school work. And I love the way the fence turned out. It's handsome, and I think that decision to make it stepped up like that really was a good one. I think it looks much better that way. So if you've got a backyard that's crying for a fence, well, now you've got a great design and some techniques to help you build it.